I wanted to show you guys what I've been working on. So earlier in 2021, I mentioned to you I was building a room and a studio, and I'm gonna have my own show, and I don't know necessarily how it's going to turn out or how it's gonna be, but I'm gonna, bring on some cool people, talk about some cool topics, and I think that I got the perfect little setup for it. So it's not quite finished, it's still in the works, it's still being built, but this is going to be the official positioning for everything. Uncle C back in the office, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining the number one most unattractive trait to all women when it comes to attracting them. Now, this topic I want to go extremely in-depth in, because not only do I feel like this will help a lot of men actually on their journey and on their mission with who they're trying to become, but I really believe that if I take this slow and if I break it down for you, that you're gonna see who you need to become in the process to really be the man that you've always wanted to be. So let's cut right to the meat and beans, okay? The number one biggest attraction killer and or turnoff in the eyes of a woman is going to be fear. Okay, I wrote this down and I have notes. Why am I saying fear? Well, here's the thing. What we know regarding masculine frame is that when you are fearful, you're in the standpoint of putting yourself into some sort of emotional vulnerability. Now, here's what I can tell you. It is okay to be scared from time to time. It is okay to be fearful. But the most important thing in the eyes of a woman is that you are brave and that you face those fears, whatever those fears are. Now, to preface this, I'm going to explain something to you. The biggest reason why most men have an issue with actually being a high-value guy, a high-value man, being a man of value, being on their mission, being on their purpose, actually accomplishing successful things in life, talking the way they want to talk, having the confidence or the demeanor that they want to have, is due to the fact that they're fearful. Now, they're fearful of three things, okay? They're fearful, number one, of other people's judgment. They're fearful of rejection, and they're fearful of humiliation. Now, I'm going to explain some sort of brainwashing techniques or brainwashing tips that you can actually use so that way you can get over this fear, because I know what that was like, okay? Pretty much everything that I've done in my whole life has been moving myself away from fear or pain and moving myself towards pleasure or purpose. And if you can really identify with that, you can start to adapt the strong beliefs and the strong traits and the strong habits. So I'm gonna break down this video in every situation how most men are peppering their whole lives with fear and how this is holding them back from actually being who they know that they need to be. The very first thing that I can tell you is going to hold you back, that women can sense. You see, the reason why if you get too emotional around a woman, why she senses that loss of masculinity is because she knows something feels off, right? There's like a strong polarity shift between the masculine and the feminine, and when that is not there, okay? When all of a sudden that man is fearful or not necessarily certain, unsure of himself, it's the biggest turnoff to where she knows that he is not who he says he is or who he wants to be. Right off the rip, the number one fear that most have is going to be fear of the approach, okay? If you can get over fear of the approach, that is going to be 90% of the confidence shift inside of your head to actually be identified in that woman's mind as some sort of high value man, some sort of alpha, some guy who takes charge and is okay with putting himself out there, even risking rejection. Now, I can tell you one thing. Men that will make the approach, regardless of their situation, regardless if they're in public, regardless if they're at the gym, regardless if they're at the fact that you're showing that, hey, I could have 100 eyeballs on me right now and I don't care because I'm going to go out there and get exactly what I want to get. That is going to be the biggest turn on for a woman, where she senses certainty. Now, for those of you, here's what I can tell you. For those of you who struggle with game, like you struggle with flirting, you struggle with the ability to manifest creative thoughts into words, such as like, hey, you look like trouble, or hey, you look like the type of girl I don't know if I should get to know, but for some reason I want to get to know her. Like, if you struggle working the words, I'm a creative thinker. I am better at that aspect, but I know a lot of guys, they're very logical, they're very logistical, they're very rational, and they're just in that box. If that is you, the best way you can wipe your fear off of the approach is adapting the standpoint of 100% honesty. If you can have 100% brutal honesty in all ways, shapes, and forms, and put yourself out there, not fearful of rejection. That's how you will win in the eyes of a woman, and that's how you will ultimately be an attractive option, is if she sees you can just go after and get what you want. So what would that look like? Okay. Complete honesty off the approach would be, hey, I think you're extremely attractive and I wanted to get to know you. Now I'm on my way, so we don't have a lot of time. Is there any way I could get your number? That's all you'd have to say. 100% truth. The problem is that most men are liars. Okay, they lie about everything. I used to be that guy. Okay, most men lie about what they want. They lie about their desires. They lie about who they want to be. And because of that, they're constantly putting on a front. That is not how you want to be. So the first thing we have to cover is fear of the approach and how you have to get over it. The second thing that we have to go over is fear of escalation. Let me tell you this. If a woman is agreeing to meet up with you, thinks you're cute and wants to go on a date with you, she is 100% expecting you to eventually escalate, okay? Even if it's for a handhold, even if it's for a touch, even if it's for a kiss, okay? Any of those things, you have to use social calibration to make sure that she feels safe, she feels warmed up to you, and she's actually ready for that experience. And that's why you have to have good social cues and a good, sense of judgment. Now, here's what I can tell you. The men who are not fearful of their true desires, like, hey, I want that girl, I'm going to go talk to that girl and I'm going to see if that girl likes me, okay? Guys who have that mindset of I'm not going to be fearful, I can tell you two things specifically that most men have tons of fear over and they don't know how to get over it, okay? The first is fear of going after their goals, and second is fear of taking risks. And this is where we have to actually cover strong, confident mindset tactics that you can copy paste into your life. Guys who are fearful of taking risks in life. This could be risks when it comes to your purpose, risks when it comes to going after what you want for occupation. This could be risks in your career. This could be monetary risks where you're trying to make investments and see if that pays dividends for you. Here's what I can tell you. The second that you become complacent as a man, you become complacent and you're okay with where you're at in life. You're not chasing success. You're not chasing excellence. You're completely content. The second your woman senses that stagnation or that fear of taking risks is the second that she knows that she's not with a leader. Now, I advise all men, if you can get rid of, not get rid of one emotion, but learn how to overcome this negative emotion, aka fear. If you can do that, you will succeed with women far more than majority of men. And the biggest reason is because they allow that negative emotion to chip away at their confidence. I see men time and time again, they are not going after their goals because they're fearful of not hitting them. They're not going after what they want out of life because they're fearful that what they may build or what they might put time into will get broken. It might get destroyed. It might not work out. They're fearful of humiliation. Like, I can't stress this enough. This one point, this one tip, like if you allow this fear to overcome your life where you don't take your risks in life, you don't go after what you want, you don't become the man you want to be, like you don't chase excellence, you will lose. Everything that I've done when it comes to my own personal life, whether it be, building Headman Nation, right? Starting my YouTube channel, okay? Building any of my businesses, any of my products, starting CZ Fitness when I was 19, 20 years old, like everything could have failed. Literally everything. No, like there was a chance no one would have liked what I did. There's a chance no one would have believed that I could help them. There's a chance that nobody would see anything positive. And because of that, I didn't allow that fear to overcome. Right, and what I've shown now with hundreds and hundreds of men who are inside of my MBT, masculine behavioral techniques, men who are adapting this principle, this mindset shift, this belief shift, they're copy-pasting these principles that I teach, which is why I advise you to go down and watch the webinar below this presentation today if this video is helping you. What's happening is they're taking this same system that I use, and they're going and they're copy-pasting it, they're getting success with the companions that they've always wanted in their life. So because I know this worked for me, what happened was I shared this with over 2,000 men. And because those 2,000 men are getting results, I know it can work for you. And that's why I firmly believe not only do these mindset traits, these habits, these behavioral shifts, everything that a high value man can do to carry himself the correct way, not only will this help serve you, but I can tell you this, there is nothing more unattractive to women when you are dating than if she senses a fearful man. They can smell it. Okay, they can sense it. They sense that fear of the rejection on the approach. They sense that fear of being turned down on the escalation. They sense that fear if you're scared to go after what you want. For a lot of you, you want to build businesses. You want to have social life of abundance, right? You want to have status. You want to make more money. Well, the fact is, like, if you can't adapt that mindset shift of getting uncomfortable and sitting in that fire, there's no way that you can ever actually accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. And the second that your woman sees that you submit to that behavioral shift in your mind is the second she no longer wants you and she's going to be going after a winner. This is why I highly advise you guys, you have to pursue what it is in life you know that you need to do, and you have to be on your mission to become a full stack 1%er. Guys, hit the like button, comment and subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to the Headman Nation newsletter below. If you're brand new to this channel, my name is Casey Zander. I'm here to make men full stack and help revitalize masculinity. We will see you in the next one.